Hello everyone, Steven here with Cardboard Coalition, and today I figured I'd bring you a how to play, or we figured we'd bring you a how to play, of Canvas. This is from Road to Infamy Games, R2I Games, right? It's for 1 to 5 players. It takes about 30 minutes and it's for ages 10 plus. Now, if you guys want to join me in the top view, we'll go ahead and see how you play Canvas. Oh, and it's the deluxe big box. So there's some differences, but we'll point them out. All right, everyone. Welcome to the top view. Kind of a weird fish angle. This game can sprawl a little, especially with the big box version. So that's what I'll say. This is the big box version. So there's some extra stuff. And it's the deluxe, which gives you some extra stuff. So now if you have just the deluxe version, you will have this cloth mat, right? It kind of represents that bottom down there, right? And then you have your different colors that represent these little different colors where you put things, right? So if you have a different version, and I'm talking about putting something out and you don't have it, that means it's not in your version, right? But it's still, we can still follow through, no problem. All right, so how do we get this thing going? Let's go ahead and jump into it. First thing we want to do is we want to put this big fancy board out. And the thing that's kind of nice about this is they set it up so you could take the cards right off, because they can be a little hard. But right here, there's a little hole in the board. You can put your little finger in. All right, so you go ahead and you put that board out. You put your 4 frames. These frames are your, I forget what they're called. I call them like the gallery special frames. But you get extra points for them. So you get your 4 frames. You go ahead and put them out so everyone can see them. All right. The next thing that you want to do is you want to get your scoring cards. So you have a whole bunch of these in your box. I can't remember, even in the basic one, there's a good set of them. So there's definitely more than 4. I want to say there's at least 12, right? It might be 10. But you shuffle them. You go ahead and take 4 of them. You place them out randomly in the 4 different spots. All right, once that's done, then you go ahead and you get your ribbons out. For this, it says ribbon trays. So these are trays, right, that slide. I'm trying not to let them fall everywhere. These are trays that slide into the big box. Makes it really easy. Or if you wanted to, you could just put them out on the pad, lily pads, if that makes you happy. It says go ahead and get all the ribbons out. So let's get all the ribbons out. Right, we have these ribbons for those. The other thing that I'll add right now is the big box has all the expansions in. So you might have some stuff like this deluxe card, which we'll get to, that are from deluxe and expansions. Like I said, if you don't have it, then just don't put it out because it's not there. All right. The next thing is you get out your art cards. And once again, I'm going to let you guys know that I have all the expansions mixed because it doesn't really matter. It just gives you more cards. But you take your art cards, you shuffle them up, right? And you put them in the little distribution box. I like that little guy. And also know with these, there's a film on it. But it says to kind of play it and the film will slowly come off. The film came off on one of them. The rest are a pain to try to get off. So we'll just let the film go off on its own. But here we go. So you get them, you give them a shuffle. Get as many as you want. If you get all the expansions, if you get the big box, you have way more than this. Probably like 4 times the size. You get a lot of cards, at least 3 times. All right, so you get all your art cards out. Once you do that, where did I put it? Oh, it's right here. If you have the little mat, right, you just fill the little mat up. I don't know why I keep breaking this out because I told you guys, but you have this little mat. You put out your cards along there. It shows your little box right there. So you fill up the rows with all the cards. You just take from the top, slide it out. Once you got that, the next thing that we do is we give your background cards. So these are your backgrounds for your art. You can have people pick them. You can randomly put them out, and they're all sleeved. There's a reason everything's sleeved. But it shows you where colors go. Colors are always going to be in this order. You have to put colors in this order. That's the space where the name's going to fill up. And that just gives you a background. So there's nothing special about these except for the beautiful like color creations they put in the background. So you give everyone 3. And if you saw the opening when I was sitting there, we actually have it set up for 5, but it's easy just to deal with these 2 and then the rest. All right. After everyone has their art card, you get the I forget what these are called. Inspiration tokens, right? So if you're dealing with the mat where you have the one line, you would only put 3 out, right? But since we have this kind of setup, everyone gets 6, and it'll make sense when I explain how to play the game. So once everyone has that, you also give every person 1 easel. There's these little wooden easels. Oh, it's kind of stuck in here and I can't show you guys. There's these little wooden easels, and you give each person an easel. It's just for fun. But I'm one of the lucky 70 in the United States who did not get wooden easels and have to wait until July to get my wooden easels. So I don't have them to show you guys. There's also wooden easels. And then if you don't have the deluxe, you don't have the wooden easels. Boop, boop, boop. All right. So once that's done, we are ready to play. This game is extremely fun, but simple to play. So basically you have 2 things to do. You draw cards or you make your art set. Those are the 2 things you do. Draw cards or complete painting. I said make art set. Complete painting. All right. So when you draw a card, you go ahead and you would pick from these cards right down here. Now, before we get into the draw, I'm going to pause for a second to explain something. When you're picking your cards, you want to think about all your scoring conditions up here. All right. Oh, I didn't add this to the other one because this is very deluxe. This is the award. This is the deluxe. You can go with orange side, which is competitive, and blue side, which is friendly. You can go ahead and put that card out. It just gives you an extra 3 points if you can do what the card says. This is the most ribbons on a single painting. So the most ribbons a painting makes, right? So whoever has the most kind of gets those points. It's just an extra bonus at the end. All right. So before you go through the cards, you want to make sure you look up here and you look at the scoring and what you're looking for. You have things like this. You have to have 2, right? Repetition. You have to have 2 actual triangles, which now I can't remember the shape. Triangles of shape. 2 triangles, right? You get 1 ribbon, right? If you have the 2 triangles. But we'll get to how you get your ribbons and stuff in the end. This has the color not next to shape, non-adjacent, but you have to have both of them. This one has exactly 6 of the different shapes, and this one has more tone. Lucky I know a little bit of art, more equal tone than everything else. So you think about that as you're looking at these. Now, let's go ahead and talk about what we have on each of these things. There's our tone, there's our color, right? This is silver awards, and sometimes there are gold ones, depending on which one you get, based on what it has in there. So that one says tone, that one says shape. So you would get one of these per shape. All right. So then you also have, where's texture? Oh, the texture was right there. I already had it. You have texture, right? That signs from one of the expansions means the card can flip, and you have a different kind of setup, right? Oh, it's the different colors, but the same kind of offering you the same thing, right? So there you go. I showed you shape down there, but there's shape. See, those are shape, right? This is the one that I'm looking for. See how this is so easy? This is a wild, basically. Well, it is a wild. It's called creative. I think it's the creative, but it's a wild element. It's a creative element. It could be any element. And then the other one we have is we have this. There's one more symbol. It's a 2 times. It means whatever's next to it is 2 times. What this means is it's copying, let me find a yellow, the symbol next to it, right? So that means that that's a triangle and that's a triangle. That's what that one means. So anyways, this one, that's not considered technically an element. Whatever it changes to is an element, right? The ribbons aren't elements, and like I said, I forgot to point out, it's a 2 times. That's not an element. So you're looking up here, you're trying to figure out what card you want. Now, if you happen to want one of these deeper cards, what you would have to do is take your easels and fill up every column. Not just the row, but every column, right? So let's say I go that far and I say, oh, I want this card. Take that card, you go ahead and set it down over by your stuff. You shift all cards over, gives you the arrows right there. You draw another card and you set it down. Oh, was that a 2 times? Yes, see? There's a 2 times. 2 times. All right. So then you go ahead and set it down. Then it goes to the next person. Now, on your turn, like I said, you either draw cards or you complete a painting. if you have 5 cards in your hand, your next move has to be complete a painting. And what you do when you complete a painting, let's see if we can get something nice here. Off the top, it's not going to be super great, but we're going to ignore some of this stuff down here. Oh, it's going to be hard. So we're going to ignore some of this down here. We're going to say we had those 2, and let's go with this one to make it at least a little nice. Then we're going to go with that one. Uh-oh, that covers that and that and that. That was a horrible draw, as you can see. Horrible. But let's say we wanted to get something out. We go ahead and put it together. And you can obviously layer them any way you want to get the most out of your card. I'm not really looking at what's on here to get the most. I'm just kind of setting them in here, right? And this is why you have the sleeves. So you take those 3, only 3. We had to, Resvon was a little cheater the other day. She had 4. 3, and you go ahead and slide them in there like that, right? And then you go ahead and you see what ribbons that this card would make, right? So in this case, let's see, does it make that? So you'd get yourself 1 red ribbon for this piece of art. And then does it make anything else? More or equal in the tone? Nope, because there's 2 of those. Exactly 6, 1, 2, 3, doesn't get a purple ribbon. And then down here is a yellow, is a color not adjacent to a shape. We have shapes, but no color, so we wouldn't get that one. But we do have this down here, which gives us 1 silver per every tone there is. So we'd get a silver, right? And then we don't get the gold one because we have no textures in here. This was a very bad build, but it was just to show you guys. So then the next thing that you can do, and you keep those separate, you want to keep all your different ribbons for each art separate. Then what you can do is, God, now I want to call them the most wanted, is you look at these and see if you can steal one of these slots. So what it does is the exhibit says, oh, it's the greatest. It has to have the most of shape plus creative, right? You don't have to have the creative, but you just have to have the most. Then you go ahead and you can slide in here. You set it down in front of you. And you say, oh, look at me. I am special. But you also get a ribbon. All right. So just so you remember, you either pull a card or you create a piece of art. If you have 5 cards in your hand, you have to create a piece of art. Once everyone has created all 3 of their piece of arts. If you've created yours early, you just wait. Once everyone's created all 3 pieces of art, then you go ahead and score. One other thing I will let you guys know, with these, if someone else has 3 triangles or 2 triangles and a star, any combination like that, they get to have this frame. They also get to have one of these tokens. So just keep that in mind. All right, so when it's time for scoring, once everyone has completed all 3, so no one would have these without pictures in there. Once it's time for scoring, what you end up scoring, I'll do it in the order if I can remember right. All right, so first you look at ribbons, and you look at ribbon combos. This gives you your number. Right now, we know we just kind of went through 1 turn or 2, kind of. They would have only gotten 3 points for 1 red. Now, if they would have 2 reds, 7 points, 3 reds, 11, and so on. And it goes with everyone, 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So if you can get that many ribbons, you get that many points. You add up those points. Then you go ahead and add up all the points for your silver, your gold, right? And it tells you right here, gold's worth 3, silver is worth 2. And then I think these are chrome. I call these chrome. I don't know if they, oh yeah, the camera caught it a little bit, I think. Like they shine different colors, right? These are worth 4. So you add all those up. Then you go over here and you look at this. Most ribbons on a single painting. So whoever has the most ribbons on one painting, this is why you keep your ribbons separate for painting, you can get an extra 3 points. What's this side? 5 or more ribbons on a single painting. So this one, everyone can get 3 points if they have 5 or more single. Remember, this is blue's less competitive, and orange or yellow is the more competitive side. Once you add all that together, you go ahead and see who's the winner. If there's a tie, if I remember correctly, now I'd have to go back and think for a second, it's whoever has the most inspiration tokens left kind of breaks that tie. All right, everyone, that is how you play Canvas. Now, once again, remember the big box, which has deluxe and all the expansions, right? But if you didn't see something, I said to put something out or said something about a card, and you don't have it because you have the regular version or the deluxe, don't worry about it. It's just one of the extra things. But that is how you play Canvas from Road to Infamy Games. It's a 1 to 5 player game. It's for ages 10 plus, and it takes 30 minutes. And I think even with the 5-player game, it could take about 30 minutes, maybe 45, especially if people know how to play. Oh yeah, and then I don't know if I told you guys the name of my art piece. What is it? I can't see because of the light. Lost Reverence. Lost Reverence. I'll take that. That's the horrible piece of art that I made that scored hardly any money. Or hardly any points. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If I missed something, I apologize. I'm sure you guys will point it out in the comments. I'm Steven with Cardboard Coalition. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.